Hey folks, JD here, and I thought today we would do something a little bit different. I feel as if we've kind of been neglecting nano quadcopters. I know they're not really that popular as such. They are seen as more indoor quadcopters, and when you take them outdoor it can be quite fiddly, quite tricky to keep an eye on them because they are zooming around quite quick. But I thought today we'd have a little look at my top 3 if you are considering buying nano quadcopters just to try inside the house. If you are considering flying drones and you never have before. First one is the Hubsan H111. Okay, so as you'd expect, motors aren't very powerful. Quadcopter does sound really much like a load of wasps. This does come with its own controller. It doesn't rely on an app to be on your smartphone in order to fly it. This is so small. Look at it, it fits literally inside the palm of your hand. Now, a couple of downsides about this copter. The printed circuit board is its propeller arms. So if you snap these, you've got no hope at all of flying it. And these, well, all they are is just a little thin bit of plastic. So they can snap quite easy, be very careful. And also, the wires coming out of the motors and going back onto the printed circuit board themselves are completely visible. This again, very difficult not to pull them, so be very careful when you take this out, as this copter is very easily breakable. Now if you're playing it with it inside, if you just plan on taking it around the living room or around the kitchen, what I would say is if you have any animals and any pets, put them away or fly this completely away from them, because these propellers, they really spin really quite quick, and even to a human, if you go and pick it up with the propeller spinning, it can give you a bit of a sting on the fingers. This is a good place to start. No chance of getting access to the battery unless you take off this housing. There's no camera, nothing at all. It is just a quadcopter to learn on. Very good, very reliable, flies very well. That is the Hubsan H111. So now we'll come on to number 2. Now my number 2, this is the tec.bean. Up we go. Whoa! This thing is quick. Okay, she's very quick, she is very nimble. So as you can see, the propellers are around the wrong way. This does give it a lot of lift and a lot of quick lift. If you do take off quickly with this, as I found out, you will just have this shooting straight up in the air. This is very quick. I wouldn't really recommend this as such for a beginner, just because it does take a little bit in order to control it because of these downward propellers. Again, same as the Hubsan, it doesn't have a camera. It is really lightweight. The propeller guards automatically come attached, because as you can see, I've taken this out a few times and flown it a few times, but the propellers scuff really easily. The propellers themselves are really lightweight, and they themselves can get damaged really easily. So, likewise, you can damage the body of it as well. This is really thin plastic. I think that was one crash landing, and it just decided where this little eyeball is here. It just split up from there. It does have an insectoid look. I did buy it purely on the fact that it had, well, 2 reasons really. The insect looks and the fact that the propellers are pushing down. Now the motors at the top do have a little bit of plastic on them just to protect the motors. This plastic can chip away quite easily, and as you can see, especially here, the cables are visible. So once again, be very careful if you take this out. Make sure you have a little box for it, or even better, keep the box it comes in, because that's not very large and you can just take it around with you with inside that box. Likewise, this does come with a transmitter as well, so you haven't got to worry about anything, your smartphone or anything like that. It is totally controlled via a transmitter. Alright, now for number 3. Number 3 is probably a staple in the nano quadcopter world. This version has a camera. This is the Cheerson CX-10W. Just take her up because she seems to be having a bit of, yeah, there we are, look at that. Straight up in the air. Now the Cheerson CX-10 costs between £10 and £20, depends where you get it from. It is pretty much the first quadcopter I think most people will buy. The GSM CX-10 is controlled by a transmitter. This one, because it has a camera on the front of it, is controlled via your smartphone. Now I took this out a couple of months ago and I found it quite fiddly to control, although I think after a bit of time it is easier to control it. I have a bit of difficulty in controlling smartphones directly, controlling quadcopters directly from a smartphone, purely because there's no feedback. I'm not getting anything in return. I have to pretty much guess where my fingers are, and obviously that then does take a toll in the operation of the quadcopter. This, brilliant, very, very good. Once again, battery is encased. You do have the antenna that comes on the bottom of it here, so be careful with that. The motors are completely encased. The cables are completely encased. So yeah, pretty much, if you are going to learn on a quadcopter, probably the GSM CX-10 is probably, in my eyes, the best one to learn on, because it's really robust. Obviously, if you do get the one with the camera, that is controlled by a smartphone. The one without the camera is controlled by a transmitter. So yeah, so that is the GSM CX-10W. So let's put them all out. So we've got the tec.bean, we've got the GSM CX-10W, and we've got the Hubsan H111. 3 brilliant nanocopters. If you do want an indoor nanocopter, then I would recommend one of these. They are all pretty cheap to buy, quite robust, but all of them have one thing in common: they're all really fun to fly. So there we are, folks. Thanks ever so much for watching and listening. I've been JD. You've been fantastic as always. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And to all the new subscribers, hello, welcome to the channel. I hope you're enjoying. Thanks ever so much for subscribing. So yeah, until next time, my friends. See you Wednesday. Happy flying.